up, friends? It's me again. Who were you expecting? Desmond Joyce Natu, and I discuss politics and how government works. Today we are discussing the dependency theory. Last week we discussed the modernization theory, which supposed that all societies were once underdeveloped, and underdeveloped or developing societies should simply come down. They are going to catch up if they do the right thing being becoming more modern. Today we are going to discuss a theory that completely disagrees with the modernization theory. That is the dependency theory. The dependency theory is a combination of social science theories. So it is not just one theory, it is a combination of a lot of theory that seeks to explain why underdeveloped countries are the way they are, and why the core countries, as they call it, which are the developed supposed West countries, should simply let the periphery, which are the developing countries, be. The dependency theory argues that the core countries, which are the developed countries, which we can call them the Western countries, do not in any way seek to help developing countries or underdeveloped countries to develop. They have an unhealthy relationship with developing countries in the sense that the means of production flow from the developing countries to the developed countries, while profiting the core countries to the detriment of the periphery countries. I feel like I'm confusing saying developed and then saying core. Developed simply means core is the same thing, and then periphery are the underdeveloped or developing countries, but I'm going to stick to core and periphery, so don't be confused. The dependency theory argued that there are four types of countries, and I need to graph it because if I'm saying it, it will be difficult to understand. So I don't know if this is good enough. Let's just one, two. Oh, that's not good enough. So let's continue. There are four types of country. They are the core center or the core countries, which are the most advanced set of countries. Those are like America or Britain or Germany, France. Those are very advanced set of countries. They are the superpowers. They are almost answerable to no one. Second, they are the core periphery countries. Countries like Canada or Japan. They are advanced countries. They are powers, but they are not at the level of America or Britain. These countries, let's say they are answerable. Let's use the word answerable. Let's use the word submit. They submit to the core countries. The third set of countries are the core periphery countries. Underdeveloping countries that are almost developed, countries like India, they are answerable to two sets of country. They are answerable to the core periphery, and they are answerable to the core countries. And then there are the last set of countries, which are the periphery country. The periphery countries are like the third world countries. They don't have anybody that submits to them, and they are submissive to every other country on the should I call it a system, the world system chart, whereby they submit to the core periphery, the periphery core, and the core countries. So that is the specification on how the dependency theory categorizes countries. So the dependency theory completely counters the argument of the modernization theory, which suppose that developing countries will get to the level of first world countries or developed countries. The first argument is that these third world countries, they provide free market for obsolete technology. Let's take, for example, America exporting their used cars to Nigeria, which is the obsolete technology in this context. But Nigeria does not have any country they will export their used or obsolete technology to. Obsolete technology in this context being Tokumbo cars. So in that aspect, the first world countries, they perpetuate themselves on these third world countries, keeping them deliberately underdeveloped and making them an available market for their finished goods, of which most of the raw materials are from the third world countries. The second argument is that these first world countries, these developed countries, are determined to keep developing countries underdeveloped through their sanctions and their tariff anytime these countries are doing what they don't like. So they kind of have a slave master relationship with developing countries. If you don't do what I want, I'm going to add tariffs to your goods, or I am going to sanction you. So it is not a fair playing field, which means developing countries cannot develop to the level of developed countries because they have to play by the rules which are set by the developed countries. The third argument is that these super countries, these first world countries, do not have any intent of helping third world countries or developing countries to ultimately develop and get to their level by through their multinational corporations. Let's take the example of Shell coming to a developing country like Nigeria and messing up an entire region and refusing to clean up, and may result to bribing government officials to avoid doing what they ought to do, introducing corruption in the system, and ultimately making an entire mess of the system. So thank you for watching. I hope I have been able to simplify, because that is the entire essence of this channel. It is not to be excessively academical. It is just to simplify things that may seem difficult, political and government things. So I hope I've been able to simplify the dependency theory, and thank you for watching. Till next time, which is next week Monday, which I expect you to come back and watch and subscribe. And bye-bye, and wear a mask.